When I tell you YouTube changed my life, I'm not saying that because it's a good title or because it's clickbait. It's because it's my reality. It's so true. I'm coming to you from my backyard. My backyard is on an acre with woods. And so I am just taking in all of this beautiful warmness after like a very long winter. And I wanted to take this time to just like reflect on the state of my life and how things are and like how I got here. How did this like Marine Corps kid, Air Force wife, college graduate failure, how was I able to turn YouTube into a dream life? And I feel like so many of you out there wanted to do that too in some way, shape, or form. And I want to share my story and my journey with you. And I want also to give hope to you because like I'm not a Mr. Beast. I'm not an Amber Chamberlain. I'm not some fancy, cool, awesome, extravagant, crazy entertainment, millions of subscriber YouTuber. Like when I recorded this video, I've got just over 37,000 subscribers on this channel. I'm getting like 65,000 views a month on my YouTube channel. And YouTube has allowed for me to breadwin for my family and allow us to have this really cool, awesome life that we had only dreamed of and didn't know how to get to, and now we can. So I really think in order to tell this story though, I have to give some solid groundwork and I think a scenario change because I think I've disturbed the forest. Okay, when I tell you I walked around my house like a bazillion times trying to find the right place to finish this up, I'm not kidding because it's that weird time of day where it's really bright and so it's either dark shadows, you can't see my face, washed out backgrounds behind me, or me just looking at you like this in the sun. It was not working. So we're on my bench, on my porch, to look at my house for a minute. So my journey as a social media marketer is, I think, a pretty standard one now after talking to hundreds of people about life like post 2008 recession. I graduated from college in 2007 wanting to be an animator. I graduated at the top of my class. I had one of the best portfolios and literally studio after studio was just like, we're not hiring. Like we're shutting down. We don't have funding for our next project. It was really disheartening. I had to go back and live with my parents in order to like have a place to live. And it just really sucked. And so when I started doing social media marketing as a way to like freelance, I never expected it to be like what I did for my career. I joke all the time, like someone suggested I do social media and this Facebook thing, and I was like, no one's gonna pay me to be on Facebook. Like that's not how that works. And that's exactly how it's been working in the 14 years I've been doing this. But it was a really rough road. I had this really terrible rough patch in 2013. I was engaged to my husband. I had this job that like completely fell through and we were trying to figure out every single option to like so that we could adult in an effective way. I was 28 and I was just like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like everything I wanted in life, like just is not working out the way I wanted to. And we ended up being able to have the opportunity to go into the Air Force. And while the Air Force ended up being a hard situation for us in the long run, my husband's now a disabled veteran because of his time in service. It's a whole thing. If you want like the full story, you can like go read my book. You can go check that out. But I'm here to talk about YouTube. So the Air Force made the decision to move us to Korea in 2017. And we were like, okay, how am I going to keep running my agency if I don't have a way to get leads? And after reading Amy Landino's book, Vlog Like a Boss, I learned I could use a search-based strategy and solve people's problems by just talking about it on YouTube. And so like I went full in on it. And I kid you not, guys, I did not expect it to do what it did for my life. I thought I would just keep running my agency. It would bring me leads and like that would be its purpose. Very similar to like a blog bringing you leads or like networking groups and stuff. But what happened is that more and more things became available to us that we didn't know about. I didn't think about. It gave me credibility in my industry and I was able to get like paid speaking gigs. It allowed for me to add other streams of income into my business I never thought about, from like influencer marketing, sponsorships, affiliate marketing. I didn't know what any of this stuff was. I had been a social media marketer and I was like, all right, we're just going to talk about things on the internet. And that's what it did. So when my husband came back from his deployment, which is why we were going to Korea, which was technically his next deployment, we were like, how are we going to like keep doing this? Like this trauma was building and this struggle was really bad. And we were really struggling as a family. Our kids were really little at the time. And it was just one of those things. It's like, how are we supposed to sustain this and live and have a life that we want to live where he has the time and space to heal and I can still provide for him, but be there and support him. And YouTube has been this like accidental, amazing solution for us. There's ducks in my pond. I know it's a tangent. I'm sorry, but like my nature in my backyard just makes my city heart so happy. Like I'm anti-camping. Like it's not my jam, but like I live in nature in the forest of Michigan, and I'm like, who needs camping? I can just go look outside my backyard and enjoy the peace of it. I need like the opposite of like a camping trip, like but for the city. Like I'm gonna go on a citycation, go to the city, stay in a hotel, get room service, and have like sound and craziness all the time. Like we should normalize. I think we need to normalize that. But anyway, so back to the story about this. My husband's PTSD was just getting really unsure. I needed to have flexibility. Getting a job when you have a spouse with a major mental illness isn't available because you have to be available for them. They need you and they need help and they need support. So there would be times like I couldn't work. There is still not quite as much now that he's on a really great path recovery. There are still some times though where I can't work because I need to be there for him. And I'm happy to do it because that's like this partner I want to be for him. But it's still also really like time consuming and struggling. And YouTube gave us that flexibility. I did an episode of the Women in Video podcast where like I broke down in 2022 how much I made as a creator. And I break down like agency money, but then like sponsorships and affiliates and other things that came from that. And it was because of all of that, we've been able to have this life that we've built. YouTube gives you freedom. YouTube gives you options and YouTube gives you a platform. And I can't emphasize those two things enough. Like having freedom of your time is phenomenal. Like that's what entrepreneurship is. It's freedom to do what you want, when you want, how you want. You work 80 hours so you don't have to work 40, but I can take a week off. I can have crazy hours. I can pick my kids up from school every day. I can take them somewhere. I can choose to live wherever I want because I'm not tied down to a location or a job that pays me a paycheck. Right? That freedom allowed for us to move from a bad situation in Phoenix to where we live now in Michigan because we were able to just make decisions based on like, what do we want? What are we looking for? What matters to us politically? What matters to us scientifically? What matters to us socially? And find a place that like really works for us and does all of that stuff. And that's what this home is for us. We have nature. We have a water source. We have an amazing community that we're a part of. We have beautiful weather year round, even with snow. And it's just so great to have that. And it's because I was able to earn money as a YouTuber and build this up over years. Okay, so like a little side story. We bought a house in Phoenix right at the start of the pandemic before the housing prices got all crazy. And my husband had to buy it because they didn't like how my income looked at the time from the previous 2 years in time period. And so we just kind of went about our business. And then we had our 2021 tax year and like my profit and loss statements for the 2022 year. So when we went to buy this house, it cost more than our other house did, but we were getting a killer interest rate on it like everybody else was in 2021. And my husband's income did not reflect enough to buy it. And they needed my income. And they were like, they saw my P&Ls and my tax statements from 2021, which just reflected all of this new income I had brought in from being a YouTuber and how that has reflected in like the agency and all this stuff. And they were like, you could have bought this house by yourself. And I was like, that was such a big deal to me. I never in 1,000 years would thought I could buy a house. And so it was just one of those crazy situations in life that was like, because of YouTube, I have all these opportunities I never had before. And so when I say YouTube changed my life, I am not kidding. And I want you to know that you can do this too. You can expand your income. You can have more opportunities. You can build yourself as a brand. It's not easy. I'm really struggling right now with my YouTube channel. In fact, I have a whole video coming out about it, but it's still there and it's still so foundational and crucial to everything I'm doing. And you can do this too. So if you want to know, like, come on this journey with me for YouTube and like how you can do this too, I have a video you can watch right here to get you on that journey. But just know that like YouTube is really what I said. It's freedom. It's so many things. And I know it's what so many people want right now. So best of luck.